So another company president is having a hard time with his employees because he, he's not paying them as nearly much as they should be paying, etc. The usual business crap.
Yeah.
So, Ratman finds this guy's dilemma, and he convinces the Kappas to go work for him for 3 cucumbers a day because the Kappas absolutely love cucumbers.
Okay.
And except the Kappas eventually find out that they're not being paid enough because the minimum wage is not meeting up with each 3 cucumbers.
Yeah.
So they want more cucumbers. The president says no, because you're not human. You don't get human minimum wage, stuff like that.
Oh. Never tell that to a demon that's working for you.
Okay, now this is where... Okay, so...
So what happens when he refuses to pay more cucumbers?
I don't know what they steal. All I know, they basically steal his motivation to do anything out of his butt.
Oh. I don't want to know how they did that at all. I don't.
I'm not going to go any further.
Okay.
But during the fight with Kitarō, they do the same thing to him as well.
Ugh.
Meanwhile, there's another yokai, basically that makes people super busy and workaholics.
Yeah.
He comes out, and actually, let's see, his name is Yogashi. And this is what he looks like. How would you describe this yokai?
Pink gremlin with one eye, a cyclops, so one eye, but his nose is on the side of his face with a really long tongue.
Yep, pretty much. So he comes there, helps Kitarō get his motivation back.
Yeah.
And basically, he fights the Kappas, and they go back to what they do, farming cucumbers.
Yeah.
So, the next one, there's actually, it's kind of interesting. So, Mana is being haunted at her school.
Haunted?
Yep. She just gets she gets a fish, a raw fish in her lunchbox and stuff like that.
Is it a secret admirer haunting?
I'll get to that. So, so basically, and then there's a voice giving her the answers, even though they're incorrect answers on tests and stuff like that, and just she contacts Kat-san about that because Kitaro's he's going with his dad to the hot springs. Because his dad is liable without eyelid. He has to get moisture some way.
Yeah.
And, Mana describes that there's 7 school mysteries. Basically, they're some weird statues to whatever. They're apparently yokais. I kind of understand it. Every school has 7 mysteries to it, 7 monsters in it.
Huh.
And so they think it's one of those. And the question is, which one is it?
Yeah.
As it turns out, before the episode started, Mana found Ratman starving to death and gave him a piece of bread.
Yeah.
And he fell for her.
Oh, so it's Ratman?
Ratman fell in love with Mana.
Aw.
So, Mana was just being nice as a friend, but he took it to romance, so he's been doing it. So he's trying to hide from Kat-san, and Mana trying to find him.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he accidentally runs into a bathroom that's haunted by the male version of Moaning Myrtle.
Oh boy.
Apparently, he also has a crush from a girl that is Moaning Myrtle, basically the female version at the same school, has a crush on her.
Yeah.
But apparently, she's not at the school right now. She went off to the springs, and she's spending time with Kitarō over. in the springs with his dad, and so it's just like, and he has a crush on her because she was nice to him, and so Ratman and him take sides versus and basically he's threatening everyone because his love disappeared. So yeah, good times.
Just an average school day filled with monsters and hauntings.
So the next one after that, next one's a two-parter. So a second moon suddenly appears in the night sky over Japan.
Just Japan?
Well, it's in the night sky.
Yeah.
There's two moons. It splits off from the first one. And the Tanuki, there's a Tanuki sentient army. They wear like people's clothes and stuff like that. They start threatening people. Hand over the world to us, and we won't hurt you. And of course, they refuse. So they try shooting the second moon out of the sky. Turns out it's an egg.
Yeah.
For a Godzilla type creature.
You know, my first thought was actually that was an egg from Doctor Who. This one episode where it turns out the moon was an egg. But it wasn't a Godzilla creature. It was more like a giant flying manta ray thing.
Yeah, so... so yeah, you have the Tanuki army there. So you have the... So basically they're conquering Japan, and the only way to stop them is that you have to push this shrine off the edge. Apparently yokai can't touch it, but humans can, and Mana's been cursed that if she goes against the Tanuki, she'll turn into one, and people...
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's a two-parter episode, a huge big thing, and I don't want to get too much detail, because honestly, I didn't think it was one of the better episodes.
Okay.
So this next one's also very creepy. So there's several stores that pop up that are selling diamonds for dirt cheap.
That's never a good sign. And there is something like that in Sailor Moon, and this diamond sucked out your energy.
You're actually kind of close. Okay, so as it turns out, Ratman found a yokai that eats people's souls and leaves their body as diamonds.
Oh. So
Ratman's been kidnapping people to get this Uniki to eat their souls, and he gets the diamonds. And he sells them.
And he's just murdering people? He's fine with that?
Yeah. This is the yokai right here. What does he look like, too?
Flaming wheel with a face. A very angry face.
That's what he is. So... yeah, that's exactly what he is.
Yeah.
Of course, Kitarō... people are going missing, of course.
Yeah.
So, Kitarō has to go stop him.
Yeah. I can't believe... I thought Ratman was supposed to be one of the nicer yokai.
He's half yokai. Okay, this next one is also one of my favorite ones. So, it starts off with a boy named Musashi. He goes to visit his dad. His dad hasn't been seen in weeks.
Okay.
He goes to his apartment, and he finds his dad asleep. So he tries to wake him up naturally.
Is he?
He wakes up and he wakes up. It's like, how dare you wake me up? About to punch him, but he crosses his floor and falls asleep. Next thing you know, he's basically Kitarō is finding him and basically meeting with him in the hospital. It's like, okay, we're gonna go try to go rescue your dad.
Yeah.
It turns out his dad lost his job. And he lost his job, and his wife won't let him see their son anymore. They're divorced. So.
Aww.
His ex-wife. So he's kind of giving into depression, and it's just like. Meanwhile, a yokai had found him. Let's see. Named Dream Bell Girl.
Aw, she's really cute looking.
She finds him and turns him into a kid again and takes him to the dream realm.
That would actually be really tempting.
I agree. So the master of the dream world is Murkara Gigashi. I'm sorry about my pronunciation once again. And this is what he looks like. What do you think what he looks like to you?
Like a small troll.
Pink skin
and long gray hair.
So he opens up a rainbow bridge to take them into the dream world.
Aww.
And so they all go to the dream world. The boy comes along too to go rescue his dad.
Yeah.
And a huge fight ensues with Dream Bell Girl.
Mm-hmm.
And basically she's been putting people asleep to take them to the dream world so they can be kids again. They won't be depression, to bring them happiness. So she's not evil, but
I know. But on the surface, that is a sweet thing she's trying to do. She doesn't realize that we can't do that.
Yeah. So what's also kind of interesting is that she get to see Daddy Eyeball Sen in actually his human form.
Oh. Well, it is the dream world. It makes sense.
So we can actually see what he actually looked like. And by anime standards, he's pretty handsome.
Yeah.
Now, this episode is the most talked about when it comes to the show. Episode 15, Zanbera and Spirit Surgery. So, the episode starts off with a girl. She's a part of she wants to be part of that Japanese cute society that they have there.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one problem. She's not cute. She's considered ugly by Japanese standards.
Yeah.
And society has kind of shunned her for her looks.
Mm-hmm.
And society just literally has shunned her, and she gets judged wherever she goes just by her looks.
That's really sad.
So an old lady that comes up office says she can help her, and so she takes her back to her house in the woods, and she says that she can make her face look cute and everything like she does it makes them in Photoshop.
Yeah.
So right here is what she looks like
after she got fixed up, or
this is the monster
the lady that said I can make you cute.
Yeah. So but there's only one thing you have to do. You got to eat a fried human soul.
Fried
human soul.
How do you fry a soul?
In this world, souls are tangible things.
Okay.
You can actually see them floating around in graveyards and stuff like that.
Okay.
And at this episode, souls kind of become a currency. So she has to keep eating a fried human soul every so often to keep her cute face.
Okay.
Another girl sees this and does the same thing as her, so they both to get more cute. But it turns out their faces eventually peel off. That's why they keep eating the soul. But the problem is that the faces are stolen off of dead human corpses.
That's creepy.
Yeah. The girl that followed her example and thought her face wasn't that bad, so she went back to it. But this girl couldn't. She didn't go back to...
Yeah.
They made it seem like she did go back, but no, she went back to... She kept doing it. And the only reason was because society has shunned her. There's no way she can go back to her old face.
Yeah. That's really sad.
Yeah. Okay, so... this next one's kind of... So then after that, the following one, Monica visits her aunt and uncle who live in a seaside town. Mm-hmm. She goes there every year for a festival. This is the first year they're not holding the festival because the committee can't decide, because you have the older people who want to keep things tradition. Meanwhile, you have the new people who want to make things bigger and better.
Yeah. And it's probably one of those festivals that there's a reason for the festival, isn't it?
Actually, no.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a shock. Then what happens?
So it turns out Ratman's also at the seaside village.
Sometimes I wonder if does he cause the majority of the problems?
Yes, he does. He's hunting treasure under the water.
Okay.
And he accidentally disturbs a seal, letting a monster out that abducts sailors and turns them into basically sea zombies. And our uncle gets trapped too by it, and
okay.
So they have to go fight this guy and basically trap the monster back inside the seal.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Ratman actually helps on this one instead of just having Kitarō clean it up, because he has the diving suit, so he helps.
Because that just makes everything so much better after all the trouble he causes.
Okay, then the next one, in the same town, is that a strange monk appears in the middle of the night, and he starts asking for everybody the same riddle. Personally, I thought the answer to the riddle was crabs, because there was a prologue where he's protecting a princess and it looks like he turned into a crab. So
yeah.
But he mistakes Sandwich as he mistakes her as the princess he's protecting. So yeah, it's not one of the ones that stood out, but it's one of the sad ones too, because this, yeah. Okay, this next one is a little bit kind of interesting. So Mana, basically she goes to her summer home, which is kind of in farmish land. But at the same time, Kitarō, she's finding vegetables in a basket at his front doorstep every day.
Alright.
As it turns out, Kat-san has actually picked up farming.
Ah.
And she's been giving him vegetables.
That's nice of her.
But she keeps it a secret from him. So she lies about it. Yeah, she's not the one dropping off the vegetables when they ask her about it. Yeah. But it turns out the reason she's doing it is because she found an old man living by himself. His wife's been gone missing, and he's too old to keep up the farm. So she does it for him.
Aw. That's actually really sweet. What's going to go terribly wrong?
There's a little boy that she passes by every time on her way home that keeps on saying that he's fishing and trying to get food for his family because his dad's gone missing, or his dad's on a business trip, his mom's went missing. So she's been giving food to him as well. Mm-hmm. But it turns out he's a monster yokai that called Kitarō. And basically he's a kind of a bear type creature crossed with a boy.
Okay.
Turns out he's lying, been taking food that way. So when she finds out, she goes after him. But it turns out he's been actually taking food to the old man's wife who went missing. She fell off a cliff, and so he's been taking food to her. Huh. So this is
just a bunch of misunderstandings all around.
Well, everybody's been lying. That's the thing. Everybody's lying. That's the point of it. Okay, so the following one, a bunch of kids get sick of school.
Yeah, I don't blame them for that, considering I dropped out of college.
So a lot of people have been running out of school to go to a secret yokai school. And like the first, so they go into this yokai school. They have to go to the cemetery on 4th Street to access it and say a spell, and a school will appear.
All right.
So Mana says, "Hey, kids are missing." So Gay no character goes to the school, but he goes in disguise. Which, guess what his disguise is? A pair of glasses. That is his disguise.
Are they sunglasses or regular glasses?
They look like they're sunglasses, but it's night, and it's like reflected silver, but they're perfectly round, so it's kind of an odd.
All right.
Yeah. So. And he gets into the school, and the teachers of the school are the monsters he fought previously.
Okay.
And and Ratman's the janitor. And Ratman's like, you gotta save me from this awful job. They don't pay me. And so everything ensues. Just then okay. The next one is kind of one of the most sad ones in my opinion.
Sadder than the cat.
Memories of the Yoka. Okay, so Mana goes with her mom to go visit her great aunt that's in the hospital. And they ask her to go take care of the garden for her. So they go back to her house and to the garden. And Mana knows of these weird flowers. She actually takes a picture and says it's the cat's head, who shows Kitarō the pictures. It's like, those are yokai flowers.
Of course they are.
So he takes off with her. And so he takes off with her. They head south on a giant clam.
A giant clam?
A giant clam boat.
Alright.
And they're following the flowers south as they can go track them. They track them to an island that has a memorial on it. That memorial is for people who died in World War II in a battle. Meanwhile, nearby, there's a bunch of people who are cutting wood down. They're Japanese people cutting wood for Japan. And apparently they've been hearing sounds at night.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, we'll stay in the night and see about these sounds. They start hearing the sounds to battle. Oh,
wow.
So it's very touchy. You hear bombs dropping, you hear planes flying over, it's all just firing guns, etc. Mana's, okay, here we go. Mana starts hearing footsteps behind her.
But it's not gonna be the guy
It's not the bubble guy with the mouth. It's not him. She eventually figures out, like, okay, I'll follow you. And the footprints lead her to a giant tree. In this tree, there's a hole at the bottom of it. And Kitarō, all the other monsters that went down, Kitarō and all of them found the tree at the same time. They explored down underneath it, and there's remains of a bunch of soldiers there.
Aww.
In one of the soldiers' packs, they find a bunch of letters. These letters were to
the aunt?
Mana's great aunt.
Oh.
It was her lost lover.
Oh.
She had no idea what happened to him. He just disappeared.
That is sad.
But Mana was able to bring the letters to her great aunt.
That's still sad.
One reason I love this episode is that it kind of gives us the Japanese view today of World War II.
Yeah.
It gives you a glimpse of it, but I don't think it goes enough into it though. But apparently the Japanese refuse to talk about World War II, but the show says that you shouldn't forget it. People have died, and if you forget war's going to happen again.
That is true.
Then okay, this next one is also kind of interesting. So a yokai named Takirobi, or Bai, I don't know how to pronounce. He's basically a fire yokai. He's always on fire. And since he's always on fire, he hasn't had a friend that he could...
not burn.
Meanwhile, Ratman said he would be his friend.
Of course he did.
And of course he turns him to like a circus show type thing.
Wow. Yeah, Ratman doesn't seem like a good friend. But friends like Ratman who needs enemies.
Yeah. But at night, Takirobi, I don't know how to say it, the fire yokai, he sneaks out. He sneaks out of his, basically, where he's supposed to stay, not be seen, and finds another yokai. This one is in a space astronaut suit, but is able to touch him. So they're able to hold hands, and they start basically detailing how they can improve their shows.
Yeah.
Giving tips. Well, this happens for a while. But it turns out the fire yokai show is more popular than this robot one. And so the robot one's going to get shut down to make the fire one bigger.
Yeah.
Turns out the astronaut robot yokai thing is actually not that, but some type of like water witch thing.
Huh.
That's why they're able to touch.
Because they cancel each other out.
And the fire guy goes on a rampage because he thinks his friend died.
Aww.
Good times. Good times. Sorry. So the next one. Okay, so the next one they go to Mana goes to a highly tourist spot where they, just a tourist vacation spot.
Yeah.
But so does a TV show guy that's trying to find monsters. They hear about the legend of a monster that will that can destroy the city. So of course they go over there, and it's supposed to be in this hole that's covered up. So they move the hole, and they don't see anything in there. But then one of the guys that for the show, he falls into the water, and then a monster begins to form there.
Oh yeah.
Kitarō comes and just kills the monster with ease, but then he turns into the monster.
Oh.
So if you kill the monster, you turn into it.
Oh boy.
So they start talking to an old guy that tells them, hey, you have to go pray at this shrine to defeat the monster.
Okay.
So they go do that. They pray. The guy shows up. He defeats the monster, traps it back into its hole, and saves Kitarō by dropping the monster into a volcano.
Fun.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah. Okay, the next one, the yokai apartment. So, an apartment basically hasn't had anyone living in it for years, and so the owner is selling it to be torn down and turned into a parking lot.
Yeah, makes sense.
Kitarō shows up. It's like, that's not a good idea.
Because there's monsters living in it.
Not just that.
It is a monster. So,
this girl's parents were the ones who built the current owner, is the ones who built the apartment. Mm-hmm. So they built the apartments, but as soon as they let people move in, monsters started appearing inside it. Yeah. I'll show you the pictures of the monsters. Okay, so, and apparently they were been tormenting the people who live there.
Yeah.
You got this girl.
Oh. Lady with a really, really long neck.
It's the neck that stretches.
Yeah.
Then you got this one. So the first one's
Is
called...
that like an umbrella?
Yeah, this one's just Casabeca. I don't know how to pronounce that still. The first one with the long name was Kitarō Kube. And the last one is Akanama. I don't know. So yeah, basically the second one is an umbrella with an eye. This is the third one.
It's like a frog thingy.
Yeah. So basically, they've been living in the apartment for years, and they actually, after tormenting people, they actually made a deal with the owners, and they kind of talked to them, and they kind of protected the apartments from people who are trying to get, like, you know how you always have like the stereotypical gangsters, just like, you better pay for my protection
type thing. Yeah. Basically,
they're able to scare those guys off.
Well, yeah, when you have a bunch of yokai living in your apartment.
So they become friends, and when the owners actually have a daughter, the daughter prefers playing with the yokai than other kids.
Aww.
But the parents become worried that that she won't grow up to be normal with yokai. Mm-hmm. So they told the yokais, like, sorry, but she's got to have normal friends. And human friends. And so the yokai had to disappear.
Aww.
But they've been protecting her entire life, and she never knew it. And Kitarō basically says, like, hey, you brought them back, and they were able to be friends again. So she was able to make the apartment for yokai.
Yeah.
Of course, Right Man was trying to get an apartment, but nobody let him.
Yeah.
Would you blame them?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so... Okay, the next one... This one is actually... You'll actually start to pity Ratman in this one.
Considering all the trouble he's caused? That's
an invitation pops up in the GeGeGe Forest mailbox. Mm-hmm. It's an invitation to attend Ratman's wedding.
Aww.
So yeah, he's getting married.
That's sweet.
And nobody believes it. It's like, okay, what's your what we're playing here? It's like, no trick. It's up for honest. Turns out the trick's on him.
Aww. She's being set up by her.
She's a con artist.
Aw, that is sad.
So basically, she marries people, steals their money, and runs off.
Jerks on her. Ratman doesn't have any money. Right, that's still sad, but it's like, of all the people, she went after Ratman.
She's done this to so many people that they're going to sue her, but Ratman still protects her, and they eventually do capture her, but he said let her go.
Aww.
Because the one thing that Ratman was left with after she ran off was their wedding ring. And to him, that means she still cares.
Oh, that is sad. I mean, he kind of deserves it for all the trouble he's caused, but that's still kind of sad.
So, Mana in the next one, Mana receives basically a mean message from someone from her class. Mm-hmm. And basically, people have been saying bad things about her behind her back. She finds out about it. And her friend downloads on her phone a curse app.
There's a curse app now?
Yes.
Wow.
So, basically, you get the app, and you have to curse somebody. You curse somebody with it. And you have to curse somebody else, otherwise you'll be cursed within, 10 minutes.
Wow, that's a quick... That's very little
It's
time.
like 10 hours or 10 minutes. I can't remember how long it was. It was some type of time. But the curse goes out. Somebody breaks... So the person she curses being mean to her breaks her leg. So she curses Mana back, and all these curses start building up on Mana. Yeah. And, so... And basically, she's going to be killed unless she... And people become like phone zombies. It's kind of a weird episode. Yeah. But it's just like, it's a modern Japanese horror story. Yeah. So it's kind of fun. Okay, so the next one, we're almost there, is the... Okay, this one's also kind of sad. So, there's a girl named Yuna. Her dad left her family when she was a little girl. Mm-hmm. And ever since then, she had an overbearing mother. Mm-hmm. Very strict. Basically, Japanese just pool classes. She's not allowed to be in the pool during those classes. Yeah. She's not even allowed to talk to any boys or anything like that. Meanwhile, one day, she's walking home, and a boy basically stops to talk to her, saying that he's in love with her, and kisses her. And of course, the one time that happens, her mom's spying on her. So the mom gets mad at her daughter, saying that she betrayed her. The girl has to run off because the mom's just like, you betrayed me, you traitor.
That poor girl.
She runs off and finds Old Man Crybaby. He has dropped a backpack full of things. He's trying to clean it up. Mm-hmm. She helps him do so. Mm-hmm. But he takes off, but he accidentally left a scroll. She takes the scroll home and finds that the scroll has a beautiful drawing of a man. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, apparently the scroll belonged to Sandwich. Oh. And she's been trying to find it because apparently it's a yokai.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. Come on.
It's always makes me think of Ravens from Teen Titans, the time that book was like cursing wooed her into releasing him.
Yeah, so anyway, yeah, so apparently, so the boy in the drawing manifests himself in real life. And basically brought her words of comfort, said, you did the right thing, you have nothing to be ashamed of. Yeah. Next thing, the boy who kissed her confronts her again. And this time, the drawing beats him up. Basically stops him. Yeah. And so the girl starts starting to fall in love with the drawing. Mm-hmm. One day she takes him up to the roof of the school. And he appears, but you can see through him. Yeah. He says that he's fading, and he's just like, he needs to eat, but if he eats, she wouldn't like him anymore. So she's like, I'll like you no matter what. the boy he kissed shows up again. What's going on here?
And he's gonna eat it.
He eats the boy's soul.
Yeah. Yeah. Does she still like him?
No, not really, but she can't admit that because she's now scared of him.
Yeah.
So he's going around eating souls all over the place around her wherever she walks.
Yeah.
But when she gets home, she finds that her mom's on a date. The one thing's like, you cannot trust any boys. Now her mom has betrayed her own rules. Yeah. She's dating a coworker. Mm-hmm. And the girl actually pulls a knife on her mom.
Oh, that's intense.
Yeah. And GeGeGe no Kitarō finds out the sandwich is scroll's missing, and so she actually went out looking for it. Yeah. Gets there just in time and starts fight. The girl runs off into the woods. The drawing follows, and so does the mom, and basically huge confrontation that way.
Yeah.
So that one is also one of the most intensive ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we get to the latest story arc. So this one is kind of interesting. So it starts off with a witch stealing, I'm trying to think, it's either a ring or a necklace if I'm trying to remember. I just watched it, so I should know. But some type of jewel. Yeah. Steals a jewel from a castle and takes off on her magic broom, and she's getting chased by knights in armor. Mm-hmm. So it's like the number of what the heck's going on moment. Mm-hmm. She takes off, and next thing we see is GeGeGe no Kitarō is actually escorting a group of monsters, refugees, into their forest, saying that their old home was burned. Mm-hmm. But they won't say where their old home was at. Mm-hmm. A wolf man shows up after, though.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And the wolf man, shows up and starts asking for wants the witch back with the jewel, and she apparently hid it with the refugees. Okay. And so Kitarō basically fights the wolf man, defeats him, and that's basically that episode. Next episode, they're trying to destroy that jewel because it's
causing so many problems.
Well, she stole it, and everybody's after it.
Yeah.
And he says, like, it'll destroy the world if they don't destroy it. Meanwhile, Kitaro's power won't destroy it. Mm-hmm. Well, and there's more ability that he has that I forgot about. He has a finger gun. He can shoot things out of his fingers, so he's using that trying to fight this monster. So yeah, to fight the Wolfman and destroy the jewel, etc. Yeah. However, they're unable to. So basically that night, the witch uses a spell to boost Kitaro's yokai power to make him even stronger. But of course, when they're doing that, an army from the Western yokai show up and basically fight. So you got like classic monsters like Dr. Frankenstein and stuff like that. Of course, the role uses the jewel to fight off like the big enemy, like the monster's boss, which is called Backbeards.
Backbeard?
Yeah, it's a weird name. Basically, a huge war breaks out, a lot of fighting, etc. Mm-hmm. And that kind of brings us up to where I'm currently at in the series. The next episode is called The Insane Frankenstein. So basically, Dr. Frankenstein in Japan. Let's see how... And I'm looking forward to that episode 29. I'm excited for it.
So, and it is Dr. Frankenstein, not his monster?
It looks like it's his... He created a monster to fight in the army in the last episode. So. Okay. So how's the series sound to you?
Really interesting, and can be surprisingly moving episodes. I wasn't expecting that from a monster show.
I know. I love the show though. It's so moving, and I highly recommend it. I wanted to make a video on it for a long time, and I know the Frankenstein episode will be released by the time this video goes up. So, yeah, but yeah, I fall in love with the show. I highly recommend it. Mm-hmm. Do you have any questions about what I said or anything like that?
None that Well, why do they keep Ratman around? He just causes so many problems.
They don't keep him around. He just causes the problems, and they have to come and clean them up.
Okay, good. And I assume there's no like yokai jail or anything because he just causes so many problems.
Yeah, and it's a very common trope that Cat-san would just beat him up and just claw him.
Makes sense. The cat beats up the rat.
But yeah, the music. I love the music, like the opening song and the credits music. They're fantastic. And I just recommend the show. I actually found out the show from Gaijin Goomba, involved with the game theory, or used to be involved with the game theorist. He created a couple of videos on it, and I grew an interest because I wanted to learn more about Japanese monsters.
Because the Japanese monsters certainly have some weird ones.
Yeah, so I guess we'll call it there. This video's already over an hour, so.
Oh, wow.
But, yeah, I highly recommend the show. If you've actually seen the show, tell us what you think of it in the comment section below. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and see y'all next time.
And have a good day. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Bye.
GeGeGeのゲ朝はねどこでグーグー楽しいな楽しいなお化けにゃ学校も試験も何にもない